One of the most common questions we get is how to convert outbound leads more effectively. So if you're a sales leader and you currently have an outbound channel in place, you may have already experienced some of these challenges and some of these pain points tied to converting outbound leads. Some of the mistakes that we often see is that you don't have a good education-based marketing program in place. Perhaps when you are following up, you're not following up enough, or when your sales team does follow up, they're just following up to check in and they're not adding any real value. Another common mistake we see is not having a CRM system in place, and so you're not clear on the number of follow-up touches that are happening. So 75% of business is lost due to lack of follow-up. So it's really important that the follow-ups are being tracked and the follow-ups are value added. And you got to understand where people are in their purchasing process. When reaching out to people using outbound, you're usually catching people more on in the awareness stage. They're not necessarily in the consideration stage or wanting to buy your product or service quite yet. But it's more so you have a foot in the door and you have to be able to add value when communicating with these outbound leads. Another common mistake we see is when booking outbound-based meetings, or any meeting for that matter, the no-show rates can be quite high. Industry average is about 20 to 30%. If you want to cut that no-show rate in half, one of the things you can do is by creating a well-crafted agenda email or agenda invite for your meeting. And that agenda invite should be very appealing to the prospect. They should feel like they're going to learn something new. And in that agenda, you want to really spell out and position your salespeople as experts in their space, as thought leaders in their space. And if you do that effectively, you will cut your no-show rates in half and you'll increase your attendance. So everything from the way you set up that first education-based sales call to the way that you follow up, everything should be value added. And you want to build a number of sales tools and resources that you can give to your sales team to help them with their follow-up engagement. So this can be things like press releases, case studies, ROI calculators, industry reports, research reports, and then just also being really attuned and aware of what those prospects are saying in that sales call. Recording sales calls can be extremely valuable because you can revisit it and you can listen for things like just personal interests or personal updates that individual prospect might have. If your prospect mentions that they're going to get married or they're going on a trip, it can be really valuable to just tie in a little bit of those personal components by mentioning the trip that they just went on or asking them how their vacation went. When it comes to following up with outbound-based leads, you want to really meet your prospects where they're at. If they're in an awareness stage, have some awareness content for them. This can be very high-level content. If they're in the consideration phase, have some consideration-based content. This can be things like your funnel math, your ROI calculators, even a competitive analysis. Oftentimes they're going to want to think about who the competitors are. So if you can have that information ready to go, you can help them make that decision faster. And then finally, when it comes to making the purchasing decision, you want to have some resources there as well to help them make that purchasing decision. And just consider yourself a guide in their decision-making process. If your intention is to add value when you're following up, you can really never follow up too much. And a lot of salespeople think that they're following up too much or too frequently, and it's often not the case. So when it comes to outbound sales, follow up frequently, follow up often, be pleasantly persistent, and add value at each one of the touch points. And if you do that, you will close more sales and you will close them faster. If you'd like to talk about how to convert outbound leads more effectively, feel free to reach out and we're happy to chat or leave a comment below.